Brian Rose wins a 12-round split decision over Javier Maciel. This fight was almost a carbon copy of Andre Kotelnik against Marcos Maidana. That's what this fight reminded me of the most. It was almost exactly the same, with Brian Rose playing the part of Kotelnik and Maciel playing the part of Maidana. And obviously, like Maidana, Maciel is also Argentinian. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. Rose was under attack pretty much from, well, maybe not the first round, but after the first couple rounds, which were kind of feeling out rounds, Rose was pretty much under attack the whole way, under intense pressure. Brian Rose has no power. He's a stand-up European boxer. Pretty tall for a junior middleweight. I think he's like 6 feet tall. Stand-up boxer, absolutely no power, feather-fisted, but very, very tough. All right, whether or not you thought Brian Rose won this fight, and the decision was definitely controversial to a lot of people, you have to admit Brian Rose is very, very tough. All right, this guy is seriously tough. I mean, the kind of beating that he took from Maciel throughout the fight, uppercuts through the middle, big power shots. You know, Maciel's a typical Argentinian fighter, a blue-collar fighter, quite crude, comes forward, throws extremely heavy shots from both hands. Very similar style to Marcos Maidana, often turns southpaw while he's trying to get his big hooks and uppercuts off. Very similar to Maidana. You know, Brian Rose was landing good, clean, accurate counters here and there. He was definitely the sharper of the two. He was definitely the more accurate of the two. But in boxing, it's all about landing clean, effective punches. I thought Maciel, for the most part, in a lot of the rounds, was more active and he was landing the cleaner shots. There was times in there where Maciel really punched himself out because he was really trying to get Brian Rose out of there. He really believed he could get Brian Rose out of there. Especially in the 8th round, I seem to remember he really had a strong attack on Brian Rose and it looked like he might be able to get him out. But Brian Rose came back. Tremendous, tremendous toughness and heart. He came straight back. But the thing is, he didn't jump on Maciel. I believe Maciel was dead tired at points in this fight. And if Brian Rose had really jumped on him, you never know what could have happened. It don't matter whether he can't punch. When a guy's that tired, trust me, even a feather-fisted fighter could get someone out of there if you land enough lever on him. So I think Brian Rose maybe missed a little trick there. He should have applied a bit more pressure on Maciel. He was obviously willing to take Maciel's punches. You know, he just tucked up and was taking Maciel's shots under arms and gloves and body and uppercuts through the middle. So he was able to take the shots. So I don't see why he didn't press the action and attack Maciel when Maciel was dead tired after a sustained attack. But nonetheless, Brian Rose came through the fight. Again, a lot of people think this fight is, you know, maybe a bit of hometown cooking, a robbery. I'm gonna sit on the fence, man. I'm gonna let you guys tell me how you scored this fight. It was an entertaining spectacle, and now Brian Rose goes on to get a world title shot for the WBO version. I have to address this because this really did my head in. It really pissed me off when I heard it. But Box Nation commentator Barry Jones said during the Carlos Molina Ishe Smith fight that Brian Rose could beat both Carlos Molina and Ishe Smith. I mean, at the time when he said it, I was like, wow, Box Nation have sunk to new depths with this one. You know, the Box Nation commentary team is quite possibly the worst commentary team in boxing. Yeah, Barry Jones, I mean, this guy's a former fighter, but he seems to know nothing about the sport of boxing half of the time when he's commentating. You know, the amount of ridiculous things I hear him come out with. You know, no disrespect to the guy on a personal level, but just on a professional level, this guy's not a good commentator. And John Rawling is just as bad, if not worse, than Barry Jones. So, Box Nation commentary team, terrible, 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 terrible. But anyway, hit me up in the comments. How did you feel about this fight? Brian Rose against Javier Maciel. How did you have it scored? Did you think it was a robbery? Did you think Brian Rose did enough with those short little counters he was landing here and there? Hit me up in the comments. Let me know. This is Hatman. I'm out.